Deion Jones's incredible interception bailed out the Falcons. Danny Carney cupped the pass zipped out of Drew Brees' right hand and into the end zone, a dagger through the heart of the Atlanta Falcons season. If it reached its intended target, the New Orleans Saints would turn a 3-point deficit into a 4-point lead inside of 2 minutes in the fourth quarter. The Falcons would be staring at a 76 record and a doomed playoff fate in the loaded NFC race. Falcons linebacker Deion Jones sprung into the air. All night, Jones had showcased his breathtaking athleticism, rampaging into ball carriers like a bundle of rubber bands. Now, he leapt and snared the ball, landing flat on his back with it safely pressed against his chest. "I felt like they was going to try me," Jones said afterward in a televised interview, "and I just had to bow up for my brothers." It is remarkable how seismic a single moment can be in the NFL. The Falcons entered Thursday night hanging by a thread. Had the pass sailed over Jones's fingers and into the hands of tight end Josh Hill, the Falcons' defense of their NFC title would be essentially finished. Instead, after a zany 2017 victory in Atlanta, the Falcons now control their own fate. If they win their final 3 games, they will win the NFC South. The Falcons finish at Tampa, at New Orleans and home against the Panthers. If they prevail in all 3 division games, they'll finish 115 and own every possible tiebreaker. Their outlook was utterly bleak when they entered the fourth quarter trailing 17-10, with quarterback Matt Ryan having thrown 3 interceptions and flailing. An hour later, they had sealed a massive victory and given themselves a clear opportunity. They know how to turn a rickety first half of a season into something significant. Last year, the Falcons started 75 and won the next 8 games to make the Super Bowl. It's a little premature to assume it will happen again. The Falcons' offense was humming last year through 12 games, whereas this edition still seems to be trying to get in sync with offensive coordinator Steve Sarkisian. As important as their victory was for their playoff chances, it was a sloppy, strange game on a Thursday night, against an opponent that suffered an onslaught of injuries, including a concussion to Dynamo running back Alvin Kamara on the Saints' first drive. It saved their season, but didn't say much about their quality. Offense, we still need to get better, wide receiver Julio Jones told reporters. Coach Dan Quinn, too, didn't inspire much confidence in his ability to navigate the endgame any better than he did in the Super Bowl last year. Late in the fourth quarter, he faced this decision: accept a holding call and give the Saints a 3rd and 11 from the Atlanta 34-yard line, or decline it for 4th and 1 at the 24. Quinn, believing Sean Payton would elect to kick a game-tying 41-yard field, declined. The call instantly backfired. Brees plunged on a quarterback sneak for a first down, which allowed the Saints to drain the entire clock and opened the possibility for them to win the game in regulation. It could have been a season-killing blunder if Deion Jones hadn't bailed out. Quinn asked if he regretted the choice right away. Quinn said, 100%. It was that kind of game for the Falcons. They constantly overcame their own miscues. 2 of Ryan's interceptions were unconscionable, thrown straight to a defensive back, one of them a short-armed force to Julio Jones in the back of the end zone. The Saints still might have had a chance at the end, after running back Devonta Freeman nearly undid his spectacular game with a fumble. But the Falcons recovered, and as referees investigated the scrum, they ignored Payton calling timeout. It led to Payton sprinting onto the field, which drew a game-ending flag. At that moment, Payton may have regretted wrapping his hands around his neck and shouting, "You're gonna choke," at Freeman earlier in the game. He said afterward, he didn't remember doing so. The internet will be there to remind him. While the Falcons exhaled, one invested party had to deplore the final result. The Green Bay Packers still have a narrow path into the playoffs, a hope predicated on a game with the Browns this week and the imminent return of Aaron Rodgers in Week 15. The Falcons' victory made it harder, giving the NFC a 7th team with at least 8 victories. The Falcons came so close to losing and effectively ending their conference title defense. Instead, they still have a chance. Greater than the Browns tore up their management structure yet again, firing Sashi Brown as their head personnel executive and replacing him less than 12 hours later with former Chiefs general manager John Dorsey. Mary Kay Cabot has details. The moves had several reverberations for a franchise that has gone 126 since the start of 2016 and has employed 6 general managers since 2009. By firing Brown, the Browns moved away from the analytics-heavy approach they committed to 2 seasons ago. For now, they kept former baseball general manager and Moneyball acolyte Paul DePodesta in a high-ranking position. But dismissing Brown signals a shift. Dorsey will inherit a disastrous mess with massive resources to clean it up. In the upcoming draft, the Browns have 2 first-round picks, likely the No. 1 overall pick and maybe another top 10 choice, plus 3 second-rounders and 13 selections overall. The Browns also have a smattering of young talent and perhaps $100 million in cap space. Dorsey engineered a rapid turnaround of the Chiefs before a squabble with ownership ended his tenure. If Dorsey can pick the right quarterback and Jimmy Haslam can stay out of the way, he may be able to do the impossible and make the Browns into a decent team. One fascinating area to watch will be how Dorsey works with coach Hugh Jackson, who will stay on despite a 126 record as Cleveland's head coach. Haslam announced Jackson will return next season. Given Jackson's record working with rookie DeShone Kizer this season, it could be risky. Greater than Steelers linebacker Ryan Shazier underwent spinal stabilization surgery, Ed Bouchette writes. The surgery will end his season, certainly. More information and details are needed to ascertain whether Shazier will play football again. The Steelers' official updates have details and little optimism, which is a scary sign. Greater than Trent Williams is treading the line between courageous and crazy, Jerry Brewer writes. Greater than it was a brutal night for the Saints, who had 6 players fail to finish the game, Herbie Teope writes. Brees said the injuries were 100% a product of playing on Thursday night. There may be nothing players hate more than Thursday night games and the hypocrisy of a league that says it's dedicated to player safety refusing to change them. Read more as Redskins left tackle Trent Williams a hoarder. His quarterback thinks so. Ex-NFL star Warren Moon denies sexual harassment claims the NFL is a league of parity, but the Browns are in a miserable league of their own. The top-rated NFL free agents for 2018 top-ranked Patriots are the smart pick again. Eagles should eke out win over Rams.